Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of my F1 2019 Career Mode here today for round number 16 of the season for the Russian Grand Prix. If you guys missed round 15, guys, for the Singapore Grand Prix, then watch the race by clicking on the card in the top right-hand corner of your screen, and go watch that before we jump into any further spoilers, because it was a very interesting weekend with a bit of a contrast in fortunes from practice compared to the race. So go watch the episode, guys, and get up to speed. But for this one, we are here at Sochi for the Russian Grand Prix, and we have nice clear conditions. No rain expected this weekend. A little bit of overcast, a little bit of clouds, but overall not too bad. And in terms of R&D, Mercedes have brought some big upgrades this race, and they've actually re-overtaken us. As you guys know, we're currently in the process of saving some points up, because in the last episode it was confirmed and also announced at the same time that there's going to be an R&D regulation reset for next season. So with that in mind, we're going to try and save a few points and not stall on the development, but take some time away from developing the car and maybe refocus for season 2 and try and see what we can try and do. At the same time, trying to obviously still go for the championship this season. Now, around Sochi, I'm doing the 108% AI once again here. That seems to be my balance now from now on. Every single track 108 seems to be the way to go. And overall, the car felt pretty damn good, I can't lie. I felt confident, and practice gave me a lot of confidence going to qualifying. You know what, I think I can challenge for a pole today. I think I've got the car, I think I've got the confidence, and I've got the setup as well. And at the same time, I will say, if the AI do step up their pace a lot in qualifying, like they can do at times, then I might be in trouble. But at the minute, based off of my consistent feeling around the circuit, it feels good, and I've got I'm more optimistic rather than pessimistic about this session. I think we've got a good chance of getting a good result here in this session. Now, for this qualifying session, obviously Q1, Q2, Q3, and we're going to try and see if we can do fuel, and also tyres are going to be quite important here, because fuel, obviously, you don't want to show your cards too early in qualifying, so I tend to run a little bit higher fuel at the start, and then also tyres as well is not such a big factor around here, because obviously the tyres don't really wear out around the circuit, so you can get away with pretty average tyre wear. So yeah, I think pretty much everyone's going to start the race on the soft tyres. So we're going to go into Q1, we're going to try luck on the mediums and see how we get on. So currently you can see we're pretty much coming towards the end of our lap here. A little bit wide there, and a bit of an oversteer moment on the exit as we now go through the left-right chicane in the final sector. And Sebastian Vettel, my teammate, currently setting the pace here out front in the other Ferraris. We now go into the final couple of corners here with 6 minutes left to go in Q1. And all about making no mistakes now, keeping it nice and clean and making sure we finish the lap strongly as we go up to the line and we go P10 there, which is not too bad to say we're on a medium tyre. Overall the lap was okay. I've had a lot better, but still, it wasn't too bad, and that lap will be good enough to see us go into Q2 there, 1.4 off the pace, and in the end, actually, Devon Butler went quickest in the Mercedes, so they stepped up the pace a little bit. Also, you got Hulkenberg there, P4, and the Renault getting in amongst it as well. But now, into Q2, and this is more like, it's starting to get to like crunch time now, and we strap the soft tyres on, a little bit less fuel in the car, and we're going to try and go for a bit more of a consistent lap time. Sector 1, a couple of tenths down on first place, and then half a second down come the end of the middle sector on currently P1 man Lewis Hamilton. And now we're going to see how we tackle these final few corners here with about 4.5 minutes to go in Q2 here as we go through the chicane. Look up there on the front left, making sure we don't run too wide, and we just about still managed to hit our apex, and now under power briefly before going into the final two corners. Once again, two 90-degree right-handers back to back, and it's all about just making sure, like I said, you don't extend, don't cut, and keep it clean towards the end of the lap. And we go P6 there, 7 tenths off the pace to be fair, and we kind of lost about 2.5 to 3 tenths per sector. So yeah, overall the time loss was consistent, but we was down quite a bit on lap time, and Mercedes actually got a 1-2 to be fair. They were looking pretty damn dominant with the upgrades. They were looking really quick. Sebastian Vettel P3, and we did get through to Q3 in 8th place in the end, but overall a lot more comfortable than it looked in terms of positions. But now we're going to move into Q3. And in this session, we're going to go for 2 runs. The first one here, coming towards the end of it now. And we go P4. Actually, not too bad. 2 tenths off the pace. And it was a good banker. My best lap of the weekend so far with a 31.4. I managed to find some pace in Q3, and I managed to step it up. I found some different lines in the warm-up lap, and it felt good. But now we're going to go on board for my best lap of the session, my final lap in Q3, with 1 minute 20 to go. No traffic in front. We managed to find nice clear space on track, and we're going to see how we go. Straight away, turn 1 flat out, turn 2 looking for the 100-meter board and brake literally as the board appears on the left hand side. Really attack that inside curve at turn 2 to really gain time, and then make sure you focus on your exit out 3 now as we go through past the Danny Kvyat grandstand and all the way through this long swooping right which feeds into turn 4, and you want to try and take a little bit more curve on the inside there than I did. I ran a little bit wide there, picking up some understeer, and now down towards turn 5 at the end of sector 1. And this was a tricky one because you understeer a lot through here. It's very easy to run wide side. But so far so good as we go through the kink and now into turn 6. Again, you want to attack that inside curb a lot. This is the way the track goes. If you don't attack the curbs, you're not going to make up lap time. So it's all about really making sure you abuse those and really maximise them as much as you can. As we now come towards the end of Sector 2, through the last of the kind of high to medium speed corners, and now onto the back straight. DRS open here, and to be fair, my setup was actually quite good for straight line speed. I think we're pretty high, if not the highest, on the speed trap. As currently through Sector 2, we've actually pulled back a little bit of time, and it's a purple middle sector, and a really strong Sector 2 there. We're actually equal on Lewis's time at the minute, and we're still improving here. 2.5 tenths up, pretty much 2 tenths up, as we now come towards the end of the lap here. Look like up on the front left, keeping it just about in line and not running too wide and keeping it on the apex, and a good exit there as well as we go into the final couple of corners. 2.5 tenths up here. Can we hold on to it? The flag drops for the end of qualifying, and it's all about throwing it into these final few corners and trying to make any mistakes as we go to the line. And we do go P1 briefly, but unfortunately for us, we are going to drop down to second place. Lewis Hamilton did improve after us on track, as we was actually the first one to cross the line out of that last group. So yeah, we actually went P1 at the time. The last lap was really good. I found a lot of time, and it was pretty much a near perfect lap, to be honest. But Lewis just had a little bit more, and I think that genuinely just comes down to the upgrades Mercedes had this weekend, because if they hadn't done those and we'd be equal, I think we would have snatched it. So yeah, overall not too bad, no complaints on my end. We start from the front row, which is pretty damn good and quite rare for us, to be fair. And with that being said, we're going to see how we get on in the race. But it's now time for round number 16 here at the Sochi Autodrome for the Russian Grand Prix.
Good afternoon from Sochi as we prepare to get underway for the Russian Grand Prix. The championship battle has some time to go yet, but still expect no quarter to be given here on this circuit that made its debut in 2014 and has already seen some classic racing. It's time to go racing then in the Sochi Autodrome, where the long run down to the heavy braking zone at turn 2 is one of 2 DRS zones around this 3.6 mile circuit. The other, of course, down into turn 13. 18 corners make up a lap here today, with an average speed somewhere in the region of 130 miles an hour. Joining us today to oversee all the thrills and spills, it's Anthony Davidson. And great to see you. How are you feeling about the race today, and how are the circuit conditions from what you've seen?
Well, the surface looks clean enough, but I'm a little bit worried about the track temperature. It's pretty cool out there, which could give some teams difficulties when it comes to keeping their tyres in the right operating window. The cars out there that work their tyres hard and really put a lot of energy through them, they'll be the ones that are better off.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position and Martinez completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Butler, Lucas Faber and Verstappen, Ricciardo, Perez, Magnussen and Roman Grosjean. Russell, Stroll, Robert Kubica and Norris, Sainz, Albon, Daniel Kvyat and Kimi Raikkonen. Hülkenberg, they've taken a grid penalty, and Antonio Giovinazzi starts from the back of the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Right, so here we are then on the grid for the Russian Grand Prix, starting on the front row alongside our championship rival Lewis Hamilton, and the pressure is on here. This is a good chance for us to take some points off of the Mercedes, and it's going to be a very close race. I think Ferrari Mercedes very evenly matched on pace around here, and it could be anyone. I think anyone in the top 4 could win this race. I really do. Myself, Seb, Lewis and Devon Butler as well. I think anyone can win it. In terms of strategy though, we're going to start the race on the soft tyres that we qualified on in Q2 and transition onto the mediums for the second and final stint of the race. And fuel wise, we're 0.5 laps over, so yeah, that should be probably, I think, the best strategy. No rain expected, and overall should be a pretty straightforward race in terms of that front. I think it's literally going to come down to the battle on track and race pace. So with that being said, let's jump into it and let's see how we get on here for round 16 for the Russian Grand Prix at the Sochi Autodrome, and let's see if we can try and take some points off of the championship leader Lewis Hamilton. Right, here we go then. Let's build up the revs into the optimal zone. 5 lights are on, and it's lights out, and away we go. It's another poor start from us. Don't really get off that well off the line. It's been my struggle of mine all season. We do box in Devon Butler though. Seb gets the jump on us and gets past. He's gaining on Lewis as we go down towards turn 2. I'm going to have to back out for now. I can't quite commit to an outside move there, so we've lost the place off the line. Not ideal. And the last time me and Seb were 2 and 3 was at Monza, and we know that Lewis absolutely ran away with it in that race out front. So I don't want that to happen again if we can avoid it. So let's try and settle into this race, see if we can find our pace early on, find our mojo, and maybe try and challenge some of these guys later on in the race. But for now, let's just hope Lewis doesn't open up a big gap and pretty much peace out the front, and let's try and keep the pressure on a little bit. Devon Butler's all over the back of me here at the moment. I'm trying to see if I can find my race pace. I'm struggling to find it at the minute. Hopefully though, we'll be alright come the end of the lap. At the minute though, it's swung back concentration. And the AI are very good in the opening lap of the Grand Prix, so just got to try and survive this, and then we'll be okay. Big tank sapper there. Butler's going to get the run, I think, but we've got pretty good straight line speed here. I'm going to run Rich and overtake. There we go, that should be okay. And we do manage to stay in front. Seb's keeping pace with Lewis as well. So overall, lap 1, done and dusted. Let's keep our head down. So Seb setting the pace, 34.9.
DRS is now enabled and will be available to use when you are within 1 second of the car ahead in the DRS zone.
I've got no chance here. Devon's got the run on me with DRS. We can't do a damn thing except for try and hold the inside. Devon's going to go the long way around. I'm late on the brakes, very late. That's going to allow Devon through, unfortunately. I had to correct the line, and Butler's through. I've got no pace. I don't know what's happened to my race pace, but it's completely gone. It's similar to Austria, but you guys haven't seen that episode. Butler locks up there. It's going to give me the invitation to get back through. In Austria, we was doing pretty well. We qualified second, but we just didn't have the race pace. We kept on falling backwards. Luckily, we just managed to stay in front of Devon there. Bit of a rash move down the inside of the lockup, but we managed to stay in front. That's what that matters. I'm regretting in hindsight putting such little fuel in, because we've got nothing to fight with, which is a little bit annoying. I just don't have the pace. I can't pull away, and the slipstream is too powerful. So
keep pushing. We need to reduce the 5-second gap to the car ahead.
It's not happening, mate. It's really not happening. Look at the trainer cars behind us. They're all queuing up. Here comes Devon again. This time he's got a lot more momentum. I think he's going to get me easily before turn 2. Not much we can do. Devon does lock up again though, giving the invitation, but we can't fight back this time, and we have to let him go. Let's see if we can try and follow him in his slipstream for a change, and follow somebody else for a change. Well, Devon is making a run for it here, and I'm struggling.
Is gaining on you by 0.5 a lap.
I can't really keep up with him. DRS is keeping me within range and giving me a chance to fight a little bit, but we just don't have pace. My pace is gone, and I've got no answer. As Weber absolutely sends one down the inside out of nowhere, and the Red Bull's got better acceleration than my car. What the hell is going on with our straight line speed? We're down on straight line speed big time here. Side by side with Weber through 3. We've got the inside line, so we'll take that position back. But that's us now out of Butler's DRS, unfortunately. So yeah, this is going to be a frustrating afternoon, I think. I'm not going to go forwards at all. This race is just going to be me going backwards. I'm really on the limit here. I've used up all my fuel. DRS is getting low, but we are just hanging on to Devon here. He's not running away from me, so if I can just get back within DRS, that would really help me out, and I'd greatly appreciate that. But I just can't get back within a second. Weber's on me here. We're going to have to go defensive. Into turn 2. Not the best line. Very compromised, poor traction. But we just keep behind for now. So we're in trouble again here, boys. Here comes Weber. I'm never going to turn the engine up because he's got the run on me. We go defensive. He doesn't quite commit though. He goes down the inside at turn 2 again. We're going to hold on again this time. Let's try and hold on to this until we pit in this lap and get the fresh rubber on.
Box now, please. Box this lap.
Yeah, I'm on it, mate. Don't worry. I really hope we have more pace in the medium, because this has been a very strange stint. Like, even Perez in the Racing Point is faster than me, and he's behind Verstappen. Like, I'm slower than a Racing Point. It makes no sense. Either way, into the pit lane then. Let's not overdo it. It seems like I'm the only one that's pitting in this early. Get it all slowed down. Do not speed. There we go. We're going to come onto the medium tyres. Perez comes in with us, as does Verstappen, I believe. Right then, come on then. Nice quick stop, boys.
We're close to our objective, just 1 place off. If we pick up another place, we'll be right on target.
There we go. Good stop. 2-second stop. Absolutely fantastic. That's what we want. I'm going to put the brake bias up to 58. We're very low on fuel, very low on ERS, which is going to hurt a little bit. But either way, we're back up to speed then. We've gained a little bit of a gap to Verstappen there. Hopefully we've got clean air.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
Right, so we're P16. Got a little bit of space in front, although there is a battle going on between Albon and Giovinazzi. Right then, let's hope this tyre is a little bit more competitive, and we've got a bit more of a chance with this one.
Sebastian is in the pits.
Seb in the pit lane. We'll see where things pan out after this. I've managed to save a little bit of fuel on ERS on this out lap before we get to work for the rest of the race pretty much. Verstappen is on me here, but he's not as quick as Weber. We're going to hit this traffic in the form of Albon and Giovinazzi. Hopefully they pit in and get out of my way. If not, hopefully we can pass them relatively quickly. Looks like they're both staying out, so we're going to have to sort this out the old-fashioned way of passing them on track. Let's have a nice tidy final corner if we can. There we go.
Gap to teammate ahead is 29.7 seconds.
Oh, this could be interesting. Leaving the pit lane then. Weber's miles behind, so he's lost a lot of ground. He's been held up in the pit lane. So let's try and get past Albon and Gio, and that way we can put some distance between ourselves and Verstappen behind us. So let's try and make these moves. Straight away, Giovinazzi under pressure here. We're going to get a beautiful double toe here. We're going to go around the outside of Albon. And it's going to be down the inside of Gio as well. Gio locks up. That's the invitation I need. Verstappen's going to try and follow me through. We're going to take the inside line on the Alfa Romeo. There we go, straighten up the steering on the exit. Job done, P7. Let's pull away now from Max if we can. Right, a couple more cars in the pit lane. George Russell in there. Devon Butler as well. This could be close. Can we re-challenge Devon Butler here? There he is leaving the pit lane. He's coming up to speed now on the mediums. Let's try and challenge him. Into turn 2. We're going to put him under some big pressure.
Is coming to fit the mediums. Car ahead, now running medium tyres.
Let's stick with him here. Getting the toe through turn 3. Do I dare go for the lunge? Not quite. But let's see if we can try and keep pace and maybe challenge him later on in the lap. These tyres feel better already, so I've got a nice gap to Verstappen behind. So I feel like if we challenge Butler here, we can get a podium. So let's try and stick with it. We've got Sainz and Norris in front as extra wild cards to sprinkle in there as well. But let's try and stay with Devon here and try and pick up his DRS on the back straight. Although I feel like he's going to get DRS from Sainz in front, which is a little bit annoying, but still, it is what it is. Through the right, there we go. Not the best line through there, but we are going to stay within his DRS, which is good. Will Butler challenge Sainz? Let's find out. I think he might. Really commit to it though. Sainz goes defensive, and Butler doesn't quite make the move. There we go. So this is our opportunity then. Let's set ourselves up. Oh, that's a big one. Big send from Devon there on the McLaren. I'm going to send one of my own. Bit of contact there between the pair of us. Devon turning in, not giving me much room. We should have DRS though, and we should be able to power past. There we go. We get in front of Devon Butler. Job done. And we're back into what would be a net P3. So job done. Good stuff from us there. Playing our cars beautifully. And making the re-overtake. Now can we keep him behind? Can we try and pull away possibly? I guess we'll find out. Norris is going to be another wild card in this battle as well, up the road. Let's pick up another track extension there. Right, personal best finally setting some decent pace. We've got DRS on Lando here. Can we challenge him in towards turn 2? Butler struggling to keep up. We've got a huge toe here on Lando Norris. We're going to send one around the outside. Oh yes, that's what I'm talking about right there. What a move that is. Up to P3. Now Devon Butler's going down the inside as well. He's going to get past him straight away, which is a little bit annoying. I was hoping Lando might have held him up a little bit, but still P3 for us. Back at the podium positions. Let's try and shake off Devon Butler if we can. Try and stretch him a bit. Devon's going to challenge us here. Rich mix and overtake already engaged. Showing the long way around into turn 2. This battle's never going to end. We're going to give him the squeeze onto the curbing there. That's going to cost him a lot of time. Let's try and pull away this time if we can. I just need to break the DRS. If I break DRS, I'll pull away. I just can't shake him out of a second. That wasn't a good exit. And we are low on ERS and fuel. Let's try and defend one more time here. I'm going to go to the inside. Show Devon the long way round. That's the squeeze again there. Not showing him through, not letting Devon through. I've got his Weber I think twice, but no love lost between myself and Devon Butler. Here comes Devon again on the back straight this time. We're going to show him the long way around. Let's try and hold on. Around the outside, come on, let's hold on. Oh, it's a big bit of oversteer there. Back end's gone, I've lost the rears. Devon's through. I'm going to use DRS to try and save fuel in ERS, and I think I can stick with him this time, unlike last time. I think I've got the pace, so I'm going to try and challenge him later on in the race when I save up my fuel and my battery.
Let's use some of this energy. Increase the ERS deployment.
Don't worry, Jeff, I've got it all planned out. Just calm. We're cooking it up. We're waiting. We're going to wait a few more laps. So I'm able to stay up and keep up with Butler in a minute, so we're going to keep it that way. We'll just follow him for now, and then we'll make a move later on, like a chess game. No need to rush into things just yet. And the minute the car feels good, and I feel confident. Devon's getting the hammer down here. Just cracking on this lap because I'm on for a personal best, and he's leaving me behind. So I've got to respond. I've got to try and stick with him and not drop out of DRS, but he's getting a move on here, so I want to try and stick with it. Okay, we've just held on to DRS here, but I'm going to crank up the engine and use it to close up the gap on this straight. Make sure he doesn't get too far away from us. He's really going for it though. Really pulling away. I've got to try and keep up with him as best as I can. Okay, we finally caught back up to Devon here. I'm on a pretty big lap of my own, to be fair. I'm half a second up. I've had to really push, and I was absolutely on the limit here, but I think I've caught back up now. I think that's his sort of push over and done with. I think he's going to turn the engine back down and try and save again, so we need to make our move soon. Lap 22, about to go to lap 23. I'm going to try and hold on for a bit longer here, but I want to try and make sure I pass him with like 1 or 2 laps to go, because I don't want him to get back past. I want to make the move and make it definitive. I'm thinking lap 26 is going to be the one where we're going to strike. Just pretty much like a cobra, just looking at the prey and waiting for the chance to strike. You know, we're studying the opposition here like a poker game. I'm waiting to put my cards on the table, and that's probably going to be lap 26. In case if it does go wrong first time, I've got one more lap in case if I need it.
Careful on the tyres. Our data is showing some wear. Most likely you'll be able to feel it.
That's fine by me, I don't mind. My tyres are going to be a little bit more worn out than Devon's tyres, of course. We're pitting, I think, 2 laps before he did, so he's going to have 2 lap fresher tyres. But you know what? We've stuck with it, and the game plan's worked out. So now we're going to try and line up for a move here on the pit straight. Let's have a good end to the lap and put the pressure on. Here we go then. Time to strike. Hot lap mode engaged into overtake. We now wait for the DRS to come available. Here we go. Look at the speed difference. Here we go then. We're going to strike on Devon. We're going to go down the inside. Inside line for turn 2. That's what we're talking about.
Great manoeuvre.
Oh.
You made it look easy.
Oh, that's a big tank zapper there. Big bit of oversteer. I'm going to use rich mix and hot lap. See if I can keep challenging here. Devon runs a bit wide. I was going to put him on the back foot, but we get poor traction again. Losing the rears here, which is not ideal. I don't need this right now in this battle. I need to have my rears as best as I can. So Devon does survive my first onslaught, my first attack. Concentration levels here so high that I'm now having to really just focus so much. Also because track extensions are very close to a penalty, and I can't overdo it. A little bit wide there, so poor line, poor traction. We're going to hold off, and I'm not going to burn all my fuel and ERS just yet. Although to be fair, I'm getting a run on him here. We could have a look, but I'm not going to.
Run in this engine mode much longer. We're about a lap over target. Drop down to mix too soon.
Okay then, here we go. Onto the last lap of the race, up the exit, nice and tidy. There we go.
This is your final lap of the race.
This will be the one, nice and easy here. We're much closer than before. Let's do this. We're going to stay on the racing line this time and make it nice and easy. There we go. Take the apex for turn 2. Now let's try and pull away. I'm going to try and use hot lap from now on and try and stretch Devon on this lap. Not the best exit, but you know what? I think we've done enough. Good gap to Devon there. Rich mix and hot lap mode engaged. I think we've done enough. Let's turn it down now. Personal best middle sector. That will do. I think that's good enough. Let's just bring it home now. No mistakes. And we'll be safe. And we'll be looking good for a P3 in this race, which is very good for me because I had no pace at all this race. I really thought I was going backwards. Lewis Hamilton's going to win. Seb can't challenge, but he's going to pick up the extra point. We come through the final few corners here at Sochi. And after a pretty tough race, we're going to salvage P3. And I'll take that. That's a good result. Grazie ragazzi. Forza Ferrari. Grazie.
Okay, good job, mate. Really well done. That was a fantastic drive.
And Mercedes have pulled off a great victory here today. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
Right, so looking at the final race results, Lewis Hamilton wins the Russian Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel P2, 4 tenths behind. He kept him, honest and kept on pushing in the whole race, but couldn't get the job done. And he finishes P2 there behind Lewis. But he does bring home the extra point for the fastest lap, so 19 points for Sebastian Vettel. We come home P3, running up the podium there. And a good battle with Devon Butler all race. And, it was a tough one. We didn't really have the speed at all. And it was very tactical, but we got there in the end, and we got the result we needed. Devon Butler P4, Lucas Weber P5, and Max Verstappen P6 there. And then we got Perez, Ricciardo, Magnussen, and Grosjean rounding out the top 10. Both of the Williams just missing out on points, and I believe no retirements in that race. All 20 cars finished. But in terms of what that means for the Drivers' Championship, we are back down to third place. Sebastian Vettel re-overtakes us for second, and we are 38 and 41 points respectively behind Lewis Hamilton, who's looking very good now to win the championship. And we're running out of races here, and Mercedes keep pushing, and Lewis Hamilton still keeps going. So we're going to have to really step it up in the final races of the season and really try our best to improve and catch up to Mercedes. But in terms of the constructors, we're 10 points ahead of the Silver Arrows. It's very, very close. It's been very close all season long, and somehow we're still holding on there. But with that being said, that is it for Russia. We're now going to move into the laptop and put some upgrades on.
Another close finish between you and Devon today. Does he keep you motivated? That was an epic battle today. How do you think this will play out? Appreciate your time.
Okay, so I just did a contract negotiation and I've agreed the following terms. So P6 in qualifying, P4 in the race, second place driver, and then hard team goals with level 1 on every single contract perk. And to be fair, I probably went way under the value. So the next time round we'll go for something a little bit more audacious and try and bargain something a little bit more tasty. But for now, that's the contract we have, and a slight improvement on our previous one. But now let's move into some R&D, because we have 2,500 points pretty much to spend. And there's two ways we can go about this. We can upgrade the car, or we can prepare for the inevitable regulation change. Now, if we look at the engine, we are second behind Mercedes. We've got a long way to go there. We need to try and improve and try and catch them up a little bit. In terms of the aero, we are second behind Red Bull. And in terms of the chassis, we are still first, but Mercedes and Red Bull are not too far behind. So, what we're going to do is, I think the engine needs work because we're quite far behind Mercedes, and we're going to try and catch them up. So we can go for ERS, we could go for engine power, or we can go for fuel consumption. Now, out of all of these, I can't lie, I'm feeling the big boy, the big upgrade, the 1200 point one, and that's what we're going to go for. So we're going to put that on. That should arrive from Mexico, and that might be our last upgrade this season in terms of performance. And now we're going to protect some upgrades for next season. So first of all, we're going to protect this chassis one, and then we're also going to try and do that one as well. Yep, there we go. So the chassis is now protected, and now we're going to do some durability ones. So let's go on to general wear, and then let's move on towards, I'd say, gearbox as well. Not enough for that one. Can we get any others? 279, 279. Okay, we can get that one there. That's 264 for the control electronics. So there we go. Right, so that's that then. We've got one upgrade on the way for Mexico and 4 upgrades protected for next season. So with that being said, guys, that is going to be it for this episode of Career Mode. And if you did enjoy it, drop a like on the video, and also get subscribed if you are new for daily Formula 1 content, and turn on notifications to not miss a video from me. Finally, check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next one very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.